What's up, everyone, and welcome to ClearTalk. So as you can see, I'm outside. I'm right here at the fire pit. Got my little my garden's not doing that great. We do have some squash. We got some watermelon growing pretty good. Some cucumbers doing decent. We're having some struggles with the cabbage and bell peppers, and onions are doing okay, I guess. My lettuce and spinach is sad, but whatever. It is what it is. But anyway, we are here. I'm outside, as you can see, doing something a little different. It's summer, and the kids are in the house, and it does get for me a little hard to do videos and stuff in my studio in the house. With either noise going on or the simple fact that I just don't really like an audience listening to me while I'm trying to do stuff. So we're out here, and I'm liable to do this more often throughout this summertime than being in the studio. But anyways, so yeah, there's nothing on the screen there to check out, but if you want to check out the channel, please do so. Consider subscribing, like all that good stuff. You know the drill. My other channels, JMD Drummer, JMDPLAY, Puzzling, any of those channels that you would like to check out. I mean, you can go to other videos, or you can go to the channel, and there's links to all of those there if you want to check out more of that, and subscribe to those. Patreon, I'm sure the links are in the description for everything. So anyways, all right, what is this video about? So we're going to kind of update. We're going to talk about all the shit basically that's been going on since our last talk when it comes to the country, Iran, the war, the administration. We're just going to have to talk about it real quick. I'm gonna try to keep it relatively short, I hope. If it's long, then it's long. I mean, whatever. So as you know, we've been pretty much at a stalemate when it comes to Iran. I mean, so from the beginning, our administration, Trump, has declared that he wasn't. There were all these red lines. He wasn't going to accept anything less than no nuclear enrichment, the removal of his nuclear dust. And so they're never going to get a nuclear warhead or nuclear bomb or whatever. Removing of the dust. We weren't going to give in to anything. They were not getting their money. This was not going to be the GCAOP or whatever the fuck it was. Anyways, the bomb deal. It was not, it's not going to be anything like that. As a matter of fact, it's going to be the exact opposite, because that was what, was going to give us a nuclear warhead. I mean, give them a nuclear bomb and blah, 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 which was, we know is complete bullshit. But, I mean, it quite literally was the best deal that anybody had ever really made with Iran, quite frankly. Even though Iran, we know that, and we've talked about the fact that they were not going to build a nuclear war, a nuclear bomb, or a nuclear weapon, because I mean they had a fatwa in place that actually religiously, morally prevented them from doing so, from Khomeini himself, which we turned around and killed. So he was the only one, as we talked about, was actually preventing them from doing it. Now his son's in charge. Even though nobody has seen the son, he has continuously put out statements through the mediators and stuff like that, on regards to the plans, the deals, what Iran would accept, and all this kind of stuff. And if we know from Iran, they've stated that they are not going to accept any of that. They want the U.S. Power in the region to basically decrease. Removal of installations that we have, bases and stuff around the area, which we completely surround them. I mean, it is. I mean, to act like they are such a threat, yet we are the ones that's completely surrounding them and have been for years. And to I mean, it's just ridiculous. To act like anytime they provoke or we provoke them or do something, or somebody or Israel provokes them or does whatever in the region, and some sort of attack is made on our bases by, you know, quote unquote proxies or whatever, that is somehow Iran's fault, and that they are the bad ones, because we're just there. We're there, and we're there because we're good people. We just want to, you know, help maintain peace. It's such bullshit. But anyway, I digress. But we've been in a stalemate for weeks now, because there's been quote unquote talks, you know, and we were not going to let any red lines, although we've gotten more and more information little by little, where we have bended the knee a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. The only thing Iran, from what I can see, has really actually capitulated to is nuclear enrichment. They basically have stated that they would, because, you know, Trump eventually got to where he was saying, okay, as long as they don't enrich within 20 years, you know, then, you know, whatever. We just want at least some sort of an agreement for 20 years. And the reason why he wants that is because that would be, you know, longer than what Obama. I mean, and as long as he gets what appears to be better than Obama, that's all he really matters for him. Even though there was nothing wrong with the Obama thing, he didn't want Obama getting all the credit for that. And just like with everything Trump does, he tears things up and removes us from stuff and breaks it so that he can turn around and fix it and basically put it back exactly the way it was, and then claim credit for it as if he fixed it. And it's absolutely, it's pathetic. It quite frankly is pathetic. And he gets, and people actually give him credit for that shit. So we kept hearing late last week from Trump that there was a deal, you know, imminent into the war. Things were coming around. They were falling to all of our requests, which reports were showing that was absolutely not the case. If anybody was falling to agreements, it was us, not Iran. And in the middle of the weekend, where all this talk was about, we were so close to a deal, then we hear reports that we have actually did an attack. The United States attacked some boats in the area of the Strait of Hormuz, and some military like missile launching locations on the coast area of southern Iran. And this was all supposedly because, okay, not because an actual like attack had been made by Iran, or anything, actual direct threat by anything, but because they were accusing Iran of putting more mines in the water. That they had ships out there putting more mines in the water, and because we were attacking those ships, those boats, the military missile launch locations off the coast started like attacking us in defense of that, so we turned around and attacked those. So it was a tit for tat kind of thing. But this was not to upscale or break the ceasefire. This was all within, you know, the understanding of the ceasefire, and this was all in defense, so it was perfectly legal for us to do so. Just the United States pulling one from Israel's playbook, basically, is what we did. While at the same time, Israel decides to do a widespread, massive bombing campaign in Lebanon, even though they're supposed to be on a ceasefire. But like we've always talked about here, when it comes to Israel, it's you cease, we fire. You had Netanyahu get out there saying that they were going to continue with the program. They were going to do all kinds of massive attacks. Nothing was going to stop them. and that they were going to increase the pressure on Hezbollah in the south of Lebanon and all this. And so they're bombing all these cities. They bombed Tyre, like crazy, hitting all kinds of infrastructures. When you look at what is going on in the region, and you hear the rhetoric from the United States, you hear the rhetoric from Israel, you hear statements and stuff that are put out by Iran, this entire situation has been a complete waste and joke. It's been a complete waste for the entire world, for the entire pressure of that the economy has taken, not only locally and domestically, but like globally. It is absolutely pathetic what is going on. Because there is no way in hell that we are going to come out of this situation with anything that this administration has said from the beginning was the reasons for us actually starting all of this to begin with. We will quite literally fall ultimately back into another Iran agreement that looks very, very, very similar to what Obama did. And if anything, it might actually wind up worse. Because while we might actually get them to agree to a longer period of time of no enrichment, I feel like this whole control of the strait that Iran has been able to actually put in place, I feel that there was very likely going to be some sort of allowance for a degree of this condition staying in place. That Iran is going to somehow get the ability to toll or control in some way the strait going forward. And that will be the balance act there. Okay, we'll allow you to do this as long as you agree to not enrich for even longer than what you previously agreed to. And that's pretty much it. They're still going to have a nuclear program. They'll enrich like they did before, or minimally with, audits and stuff like they did before. But they're ultimately going to have a better situation economically. Matter of fact, all the sanction talk has been coming back up now as well. And they're going to wind up getting the sanction reliefs that this administration has stated and has said that they were not going to give them money, millions of dollars or billions of dollars, and they're not going to give them 1 cent. But yet, all the reports that I've seen from people that have deep connections within this whole situation pretty much says that that's what's going on. They will get sanction relief. They will get their money. And don't get me wrong, I think they need to. I think that we should give them complete access to all the sanctioned money. We need to remove sanctions. I'm anti-sanction to begin with. That way that their economy can prosper. They can get back into the actual economical, geopolitical game to strengthen their economy, to strengthen their way of life in a way that, can temper opinions and thoughts and anger towards the United States and everything that has happened, that would be the only way we really would be able to start relationships with them that could actually be beneficial for everybody in the future. And the only hiccup is Israel. I mean, you had Ben Gvir out there, I think just yesterday, talking about how Israel was not going to agree to this, that they were not going to let this happen. No amount of agreement with Iran is ever going to happen. That him and Netanyahu and the rest of the security council in Israel was never going to let that happen. And we know this. We know this. Israel is going to not agree to this. They are going to probably self-implode and try to blow up the whole deal, striking Lebanon like crazy. Probably will attempt to go back to striking Iran. If we do not pull them in, if we do not rein them in, if we do not tell them, hey, stop the shit. Back the fuck up. We got this. You're not the power. We are. And then there's the concern of, even if we do that, are they bold enough to say, fuck you, U.S., and do it anyways? Because when it comes to this, Israel's the problem. Israel has been the problem all along. And then you even had Trump. Got a truck driving by, didn't know if it would be loud or not. And you have Trump putting out here the other day about trying to add in the Abraham Accords and trying to get all of the, you know, this sort of blissful like idea that all the Arabian countries could come together in agreement and in connection with Israel to make this wonderful, beautiful agreement. Everybody gets along, and even Iran could get in on it, and everybody be peaceful and wonderful and everything. And you basically had all the Arab countries just either say, yeah, that ain't happening, or they sat silent. Like, yeah, okay. There was no, oh, that's a good idea. That's great. Yeah, we're ready. Let's do it. Nothing like that. If anything, there were more statements saying that was not going to happen. And the thing about it is all of these Arab countries have at some point in some time agreed that they could potentially get into an agreement like the Abraham Accords, if and only if Israel decided to actually give Palestinians their own state and their own ability to exist free from their control. That was agreed upon years ago. But yet Israel has done everything that they could to upend that and not allow that. Again, Israel's the problem. But what I find interesting about the bringing up of the Accords, which nobody's going to agree to, is that this is at the same time that China is trying to make an agreement with the Arab nations and Iran, trying to work out relations between them. Like, hey, y'all can work together. Y'all are actually kind of on the same field here. And I think it's very more likely that you're going to have Iran, especially after this war, especially after realizing that we, the United States, the greatest nation, and one that we said that we would protect all these Arab nations, like, you know, and they would not have any harm come to them in any kind of conflict with Iran. All of these nations have seen and realized that that is not the case. When all of the locations all over were struck by Iran, gas facilities, oil facilities, bases all across the region, U.S. bases destroyed. Iran proved that the United States was nothing but a paper tiger, basically. And that the Arab states were, quite frankly, foolish to think that the United States would actually be able to protect them. And so there's a very good chance that a better chance that an agreement between Iran and the Arab states would come together than Israel and the Arab states. I mean, Israel was threatened damn near to attack all of them at some point in some time. And they are the rogue nation that says that they will not allow anything less than their imperial growth, trying to annex everywhere they can annex, trying to make the greater Israel. That is the plan. And everybody knows this. All the Arab nations know this. From Lebanon to Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Syria, even Egypt, all of them, they all know that this is the case. Iraq. So why would they ever get in an agreement with Israel when they know what Israel's plans are? Everybody knows what Israel's plans are. They are not being silent or subtle about it. They talk about it damn near on a daily basis. So for all of those out there who wanted this to happen because you thought that we were going to take out the biggest terrorist threat in the world, Iran. What a joke that is. Your man, your big boss man, your orange guy, all he did was actually strengthen Iran's stance on the global field. And actually showed how more responsible, how more intelligent, how more mature, adult Iran could act in this situation, in any kind of conflict type of situation, than the United States. We're done. We are done. The idea that the United States is so amazing and so powerful and such a badass that everybody should fear us and nobody should ever toy with us, that nobody should ever even threaten us, that's completely been upended. Which was the excuse that all the support for the Republican Party and even parts of the Democratic Party, all these warmongers, all these people who, support funding the living fuck out of the Pentagon instead of actually doing things that's substantive to help out the American people, and actually be America first. That was your whole argument. That's been the whole argument all along, for us to have a 2 to 3 times larger budget than everybody else in the world, so that we could be able to take on multiple fronts and not be bothered by it whatsoever, and have full success in any military, any diplomatic, or, well, not even diplomatic, because that's not diplomatic at all, any type of war, type of conflict issue that we ever would face. And that's all bullshit now. It's straight bullshit now. You were bamboozled. You were fooled. You were humbled. You should be humbled at this point. You should be knocked down from the pedestal that you think that we sat on, and realize that we are not all that we say we are. Especially when we are left in the hands and control of complete fucking morons. And that's what's happened. That's what's happened with our entire government almost at this point. The Trump administration and those people that he's put in place, they have screwed around and pissed enough people off, or either to where they will leave. They have scared them for being associated with them to the point that they would leave, or they have fired them, claiming that they didn't agree with their agenda, to the point that all of the best people in our government, in our some of the best people in our agencies, in the Pentagon, in the military, all different branches, are no longer there. And we're left with morons, or the most hateful, violent, immoral people that don't care who we bomb, who we kill, who we piss off, how much chaos is created in it. That's what we've left with. We are living through the most pathetic, immoral, disrespectful, idiotic, dangerous history maybe ever in the United States. And that's looking back at some of the most egregious shit that's in our history. How we started as immigrants. It is ridiculous how many people think that we are native, that white people are native to this country, to this land. That's a whole nother video, but it is absolutely ridiculous how many think that is the case. We are immigrants. And the way we treated Native Americans, the way we were treated the black community, I mean, all of this history that is absolutely just ridiculous and horrible and embarrassing, quite frankly. What's going on right now might be the most dangerous ever. And not to any, like, specific minority or a group or specific just group in general, but like to the entirety of this nation. We've been placed in the hands of chaotic, crazy, power-hungry, greedy, immoral, disgusting people. Hateful people. And what's even worse is that some people that at one point I considered like good people, people that I thought, you know, had a good heart or were kind, or, you know, you generally would just hope that they were good people, because they claim to be, you know, loving, caring, religious Christian people, or whatever the case. Some of them I have been woken. I have been awakened rather, I guess I should say. Let's get correct here, I guess. To the fact that these people are truly, truly hateful people. Selfish people. People that I've known for years, people that live close to me, or you know, relatively close to me, or whatever. And it's like realizing that these people are either so foolish or so ignorant, so selfish, or so distastefully hateful that they continue to defend and protect and support and give in to the rhetoric, even like purposefully celebrate and cheer on the likes of Donald Trump and this administration and what they're doing. I don't... It's really mind-blowing. It's truly mind-blowing. I think I've fallen into a completely different thing for this video at this point, but if you're still here, I mean, seriously, thinking about it. I sit back. It's the reason why I've had so much trouble even sitting down to do a video, because I'm sitting here like, what the actual fuck is going on, man? And it's like, not only is it like, what the fuck's going on with our country and our government, and what's being allowed, why the rest of the world is not pushing back and like condemning us more than it is, but also like looking around me at, you know, in what I grew up with, the people that I thought were good people, or community that I thought was a good community, you know, loving state, or you know, that I grew up in, or what, like, to realize that no, there is some really fucking, again, either just ignorant, the kind of like useless idiots that you know see, or they are literally just hateful, selfish people. I just like I'm left in bewilderment, really. And glad that me personally, that I didn't fall into and allow myself to be influenced and in that way, that I decided for myself to be, you know, like a caring person, a loving person, a thoughtful person to everybody and anybody. Even to the point that I look at these people and I'm like, if only they would fucking listen, maybe I could pull them from this horrible mind, you know, track of mind. and make them realize that they, you know, could be better, that they could think better, that they could be more positive and more loving and caring. Like, it's not fucking hard. You just choose to be that way. But instead, these people choose to be hateful. And they'll throw it out as like, oh, well, excuse me for caring about my family and you know, loving in my family and making sure that they are good. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, while that's wonderful that you care about your family, your personal, close family, and making sure that they're good, the selfishness in that you are not also thinking about the good of everybody, which is what this country was supposed to be founded upon. That the ability for everyone to be able to access and pursue happiness. Which I know is kind of ironic to begin with, seeing as though all of that was said and implemented when quite literal slavery was a thing. I don't know where else I want to go with this video. I think I've gone too far, or too long, rather. But yeah, I just don't see. I don't see. It needs to be. What's going on right now is either Trump and this administration have to completely capitulate and agree to something, which that was the other thing. I forgot about that. It just clicked in my head. That basically everything Iran was asking for the most part, America, the U.S. has actually agreed to, like, behind doors. But the reports are that what the administration is trying to do is postpone actual, like, the formal announcement of that, so that they can play in the narrative that they are wanting to create for the American people, quote unquote, like, by MAGA, their supporters, the like hateful, you know, ones that want Iran just blown to smithereens, to try to find a way to sell this agreement to them so that it looks positive for the administration. And that's what's been postponing, honestly, the majority of this stalemate, is that this administration has been trying to figure out how to create a narrative or create how they're going to sail, because they know that there's no way of getting out of this without it quite literally being Obama's agreement that we previously ripped up, that Trump himself ripped up. Is not going to be any different outside of maybe some minor changes or minor adjustments. And he knows this. The administration knows this. And it's the reason why you keep seeing Trump throw out, this is not the JOCP or whatever the fuck, what is it? JOACP, GOCAP, whatever the fuck it is. The Obama, this is not the Obama deal. It's not the Obama deal. It's not, it's so much better, so much better. It's not the Obama deal, so much better. It's so much better. But he's been saying that over and over and over and over and over again. Every chance he gets here the past couple of weeks. Because I think they literally don't know how to sell it, but that's the only way. If he just continuously repeats, the reason why he repeats shit so much is that his followers will believe it, even though it's quite literally going to be the exact same thing. Just because he says it's not the same thing, it's not the same thing, they will be like, oh yes, it's not the same thing, because that's what he said, it's not the same thing. Because he literally thinks that his base are idiots. And I mean, I can't disagree. A lot of them are. And a lot of them will go right along with it. But that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to take as much time as they can to try to sell it. Because they're liars. Because they know they got into this for no reason. They know they got it in for the wrong reasons. And they know that they are not going to get what they claimed they were going to get. It was a complete waste. It was a complete waste. And now you have thrown the entire economy into chaos. You've made it to where, well, I mean, if we're being honest, they did it to enrich themselves. But you've made it to where American people are now paying shit tons at the pump, along with everybody else globally. And reports are, and speculation is that is not going to come down for years. It is going to take years for that to come down. Because between it taking a couple months for these areas to even start up production again, even once we release, all the hundreds of millions of barrels or whatever, or billions of barrels, whatever it is, that is hung up in the Strait, in the Gulf. But then all the facilities that are going to have to be repairs made to them from them being struck is going to take years for them to repair. Some of which up to like 2 years or more to repair them and make repairs to them. So all of this is going to hurt the entire oil system, oil futures. Which is going to make all the oil companies basically keep prices high until they feel like they are making the profits that they can have wanted to make, and maintains the profits that they want to make before they bring it down. I mean, we're looking at the situation that we had after COVID. Except for the fact that that was a more natural occurring situation that was held up in logistics. We are having the same logistical type of scenario, except for worse, honestly. Because at least facilities didn't get damaged back then. They could at least start back up and get things flowing fast enough. The only problem was supply and demand, where we went from not having any demand to where they had to reduce the supply to having a great amount of demand, and they having to increase the supply, and it created a bottleneck. And that's the reason why prices went up. But now you've just made the situation where the demand is not always been there, and is actually at a point where it's going up because of the summer months globally. This is when demand goes up for everybody, but the supply is not going to be there, and there's no way to get the supply there because of the destruction and the issues and logistics that you've created. And for what? And this is going to fall into every facet of the economy over time. And we're talking about 3, 4, 5, even 6 years that this could of problems that this has created in the oil system, in the oil field, in the oil industry. That is going to domino all other industries that affects, which is pretty much everything from food to other accessories and things that we need. Everything is going to be affected by this. So we're looking at multiple years of high prices, elevated prices. All because we wanted to do the bidding of Israel and Trump wanted to enrich himself. And they're literally not going to get anything out of it. But what Trump tore up 10 years ago. I think from our perspective, it's pathetic. But Trump doesn't care. And neither do the cronies around him that support all this. Because they've made billions off of it. They are better off. And they don't care about the American people. Trump said it himself just a week or so ago. He doesn't care about the economic strain that is made on the American people. He doesn't even think about it. I guess I'll try to find a way to close this out here. I just wish people, I wish people would realize it. And I know majority of Americans do realize, but I'm talking about like the people that support. I wish they would realize it. I wish they would get out of their pride and like out from underneath their, I don't know, blinders or and wake the fuck up. You think the problem is people is the weak people. But the problem is the fact that you are not awake. Being awake is not a problem. Being awake means you have realized there is a problem and you're trying to actually improve the situation, or you're trying to work out things to improve the situation, life for people, the betterment of people. I mean, it's crazy that people that supporters, MAGA, these types of people think that is a problem. Like you think the detriment of society is people actually realizing that it's okay to be good to people? That it's okay to include people? That it's okay to love and be compassionate for people? You find that a problem. I'm glad to be woke. while you're too busy sleeping like a sheep. Thank you very much for joining me. This was a long video, longer than I planned, and I went all over the place, I know. But I just had so much going through my mind. I wanted to just talk and just not it be like some sort of straight formal, like, or anyways, let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel about everything. Let me know where you stand. Do you agree with me, disagree with me, and where and what? And yeah, let's just have a conversation, I guess. Let's talk about this shit. Let's get it, even if it's just getting it off of our minds, getting it off of our shoulders, ranting, raving, I don't care. There's every reason in the world to be angry right now. There's every reason in the world to be frustrated, to be scared, to be confused, to be uncertain. To think that, quite frankly, we're fucked. Because you have every reason to think that. And everything lines up for that to be anyone and everyone's opinion. I know it's mine. So at the very least, we could come together and bond on that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my next video, or one upcoming video. I don't know if it'll be the next one, but I'm gonna do a video on white people and how we very much are a problem. So look for that. Thank you very much for joining me, and again, check out the channel. If you'd like to subscribe, please do, and hit the bell or don't, or check out Patreon or don't, whatever. I would love to continue doing this full time. I don't know how much longer I'll be able to if I don't start getting support. I mean, I might can make it the rest of this year, hopefully. But yeah, if I don't start getting some major support from somewhere, or multiple wheres, this is gonna little by little come to an end, or at the very least become very minimal. But anyways, thank you for joining me. Until next time, peace. Clear Talk. I'm out.